Good day everyone, I am Juliana Simacon and today we're gonna talk about the beer. The beer is the generic term for all alcoholic beverages that are fermented and brewed from malted barley, hops, water, and yeast. So this is malted barley looks like. Majority of beer use a yeast strain which is called Saccharomyces. Brewing is the process of making malt beverages. Bottom fermentation refers to one of the two main brewing techniques. A color fermentation which runs in the 40 degree of to 50 degree Fahrenheit range. In this type of fermentation, the yeast after the process will coagulate and sink to the bottom, hence the name. Bottom fermentation tends to very crisp with cleaner taste. Green beer. Green beer refers to a newly fermented beer. The hybrid beer is a type of beer flavored with fruits or vegetables. Krausening is the process of adding carbon dioxide or CO2 to a beer if the carbonation level is low. CO2 or carbon dioxide gives a distinctive element of bubbles to the beer, and the effects of carbonation is strongly influence the aroma, flavor, and appearance of the beer. Skunk beer. So skunk beer is usually described as the light struck. It is a type of beer that has been ruined by exposure to light, so called because it has unmistakable odor of a skunk. So it happens when the beer exposed to the ultraviolet light or the artificial light. And then top fermentation. It refers to one of the two main brewing techniques. A warmer fermentation which run in the 60 degrees to 70 degrees Fahrenheit range. In this type of fermentation, the yeast stays on top. Wild beer. Wild beer refers to a beer subjected to a very cold temperature. Now let us know the history of beer. Beer existed 7,000 years ago. In 3rd century, beer known as Qiu in China. In Middle Ages, brewing is done in the home by women known as brewster. In February 13, 1602, Dr. Alexander Noel, father of bottled beer, died. In 1622, Peter Minuit established the first brewery named Amsterdam. The first beer brewery in the U.S. is in Manhattan in 1623. In 1638, William Penn operated the first brewery. In 1762, Samuel Francis founded the first ever tavern named Francis Tavern. Francis Tavern is actually still going strong 261 years on. In 1873, Louis Pasteur discovered the wild yeast. Wild yeast is any species yeast in fermentation other than pitching yeast. In 1935, federal law prohibited brewers from listing alcohol content. The law was repealed in 1993. That prohibition negatively affect the closing of breweries, distillation, and salons, eliminates thousands of jobs like waiters and any jobs related to the trade. First Oktoberfest was held in Munich, Germany. During Oktoberfest, a lot of quantities of beers are served. Beer usually stored in dark glass bottles. This is because dark glass bottles protects the beer from the UV rays. The beer ingredients. One of the ingredients of beer is, of course, the water. Beer constitutes of 90% of water and contains a variety of minerals and ions that affects the brewing process. The malt, the barley that has been steeped in water and allowed to germinate. The malt is the soul of the beer. It gives the cooling and refreshing effect. The malt contributes sugar necessary for fermentation. The malt adjuncts. The malt adjuncts extenders could be corn or rice. The hops. It contains raisins and oils which are the bittering agent for beer. It stimulates the beer and it imparts bitter taste. And then the yeast. The yeast eats up sugar and creates alcohol carbonation and other compounds that gives the beer its particular flavor. The brewing process. First is the malt preparation. This step imparts color and taste of the beer. Second is mashing. The malt enzymes break down the starch to sugar and the complex protein of the malt to simpler nitrogen compounds. Third is slaughtering. The brewer removes spent grains and continues to boil liquid. Then the fourth step is boiling and hopping. The liquids are poured in large kettles, and then hops separation and culling. The hops are removed and the brew passes a culling device, and then fermentation. These steps, which the wort is transferred to the fermenting vessel. During fermentation, green beer is produced. Then the storage. The beer is cold and placed in storage for 2 weeks. The beer needs to stored for 2 weeks so that the yeast consume the sugar and so that the beer absorb the carbon dioxide. And then the last step is the packaging. The beer is bottled and passed through pasteurization. Here, kraussing may be administered. Pasteurization is the process of heating the beer in a temperature that will kill any microbes. So the image shows the specific things and the specific process to make beer. There are 3 common containers for beer. First is the bottle, the can, and the case. Kinds of fermentation used in beer making. First is the top fermentation. Top fermentation refers to one of the 2 main brewing techniques. It is warmer fermentation which runs in 60 degrees to 70 degrees Fahrenheit range. In this type of fermentation, the yeast stays on top, dark in taste and color. Top fermenting tends to yield more flavor and more pronounced warm fermenting. It is associated with ale. In England, this is often referred to as bitters, the lambic, mild beer from Brazil's Belgium, the porter, invented by Ralph Harpwood, and then the stout. The bottom fermentation refers to one of brewing techniques. It is a collar fermentation which runs in the 40 degrees to 50 degrees Fahrenheit range. In this type of fermentation, the yeast, after the process, will coagulate and sink to the bottom, hence the name. Bottom fermentation is also called lager fermentation. It tends to have clean, crisp flavor and clear appearance. It's associated with Bock, came from Germany. Lager came from the word lagern, meaning to rest, to store, stored in caves. And Pilsner or Pils came from Ziegtown Pilsen, most popular beer. So the characteristic of beer is it is shorter life expectancy. When the beer is in bottled beer, it lasts for 6 months, and in canned beer, it lasts for 3 months, and in keg beer, it lasts for 1 month. Sensitive to extreme temperature and light. That is why beer is kept in dark bottled, and it must be clean. Of course, people enjoys to drink beer, so it must be clean, and it gives hangover. Beer gives hangover because it makes you urinate more, which leads to dehydration. Dehydration is one of the main causes of hangover symptoms like dizziness, thirst, and headache. Beer can also make you fat due to its high calorie content. So the table shows the major brands of beer in different countries. The 5 most popular brands for non-alcoholic brews are Udo's, Sharps, Kingsbury, Old Milwaukee, Coors Cutter. And then the 10 most popular brands of American beer are Budweiser, Bud Light, Miller Lite, Coors Light, Busch, Natural Light, Miller Genuine Draft, Milwaukee's Best, Miller High Life, and Old Milwaukee. The 10 most popular brands of American light beer are Bud Light, Miller Lite, Michelob Light, Miller Genuine, Draft Light, Coors Light, Natural Light, Busch Light, Keystone Light, Old Milwaukee Light, and Milwaukee's Best Light. And then the 10 most popular brands of imported beer in different countries are Heineken in Holland, Corona Extra in Mexico, Molson Ice in Canada, Beck's in Germany, Molson Golden in Canada, Labatt's Blue in Canada, Amstel Light in Holland, Foster's in Australia, Guinness Stout in Ireland, and Base Beer in England. These imported beers allows people to experience and enjoy variety of styles, brewing, and flavor of different beer in different countries in the world.